What's going on? It's Justeeni here. Today, I'm going to be showing you some footage from the Polytitans tournament. Unfortunately, I didn't advance past the group stage, but I'm going to show you the people that did. Anva, who you recognize for 2-0ing me, and Mitsuku, also a very strong player. And they're going to be duking it out. We're going to be seeing both sides at once, so this is going to be very hard to commentate, but I'm going to try my best. I did see these sets. I already watched the replays. The tournament's actually finished already, but I haven't seen like the other semi-final set and the final set, so this one I'm actually not going in blind, but I think it's probably better if I do. You know, the shock and anticipation and all that. But yeah, I already kind of know what happens in these games, but it should be interesting nonetheless, so let's get right into things. So starting off again, Anva in the west corner, Mitsuku in the east, and just some standard openings, expanding towards the middle. Both players find a village. Very solid spawns from both sides. We see their early riding into the rider. Very safe, but not very economic opening, as opposed to Mitsuku, who gets fewer units, more eco-heavy. See the Explorer from Anva. Kinda goes a bit astray, but pretty good vision nonetheless. Now some good rider spam. And upgrading the capital, because you can still get 2 riders here. Moving the rider here, very important, not on the village. Seeing the rider here, of course it would just kick the rider off, and then it would retreat away. So, very, very even so far. Now roads pre-cap. Mitsuku has a nice advantage with economy because of his opening choice, but Anva has some better expansion because of the unit-heavy approach. Now an Explorer, Mitsuku getting really good vision of the south where there are a lot of villages. Now we see Anva getting roads pre-C3, and yeah, really good expansion. And you see the connections already by Mitsuku. Again, this economic opening, you can see the differences with playstyles, really. Just taking advantage of these road plays now, going for some more fighting, you know, forcing out some plays by Anva. Now taking the village once again. It's going to be a lot of fighting. Just trying to get plenty of units. And now we see another Explorer. Anva funneling it. Goes towards the lighthouse, which does mean you can get a giant off of the connections. And you can see lots of vision, lots of uncontested villages. Now, Mitsuku getting 6 villages first before Anva, despite the slower expansion, more economic opening, and this is going to prove very significant. Possibly a bit of a misplay here though with the roads. I think the superior connections are like this, so then your warrior can go and fight for this village more easily, and it can allow like some road plays like this if he wants to. So I think that's a bit of a mistake. I'd be curious to wonder what the thought process was with specifically roads like this, because it's the same amount of roads to connect as well. I don't know. It looks like a bit of an oversight. This is a live game, by the way, so it's very easy to make small little mistakes like this. And hindsight is 2020. But yeah, again, these 3 uncontested villages, there's going to be a lot of fighting over those. Now Anva getting the Explorer. Anva needs a 6th city, but keep in mind there is no 6th city over here. Nothing, because of how Drylands works. So, if Anva wants a 6th city, he has to get it. He has to steal it. So again, not stepping on the village and not going for the siege either, just trying to trade down the units, because you can't really hold on to anything if you don't have that unit advantage. So it's very good recognition. Just going for the trades. Now you see Mitsuku, get another Explorer, more vision in the south. It's going to uncover quite a lot of fog for him, give him some good vision. So both players have a pretty good idea of what's going on. Obviously they don't have full vision like you're seeing in the replay, That's why Mitsuku goes for another explorer to get good vision in the north. So then he can make some very informed decisions. And yeah, he's going to get a giant very soon. But Anva looks to be able to get the giant first, actually, with just 2 roads. Seems like the play here, because then you can use Park of Fortune, you can send this giant, get the 6th city that you need. Let me see, Park of Fortune. Yep, Org is another giant there potentially. Now Mitsuku, going for the ruins. Very smart, exploring back here, always a good idea. On normal maps, I don't know how many ruins. I think it's either 6 or 7, because I know in small maps it's 5 ruins, but yeah, there's a set amount of ruins that generate on the map. And I don't think we've seen any ruins open this match yet. So a lot of them are hanging at the edge of the map. But yeah, again, just keeping a good amount of units. Now on the trying to pressure, really needing to get that 6th city. If you do not get that 6th city here, you are down not just a city, but a full monument. You can see that Grand Bazaar kind of right in the front there. Now Free Spirit and Chivalry Ruin back to back. 0 stars needed for the Knights. I would say Knights are overrated. But the main reason why they're overrated is because these tech prices are really expensive. If you don't need to pay the tech prices, this is not a bad unit to have just at your disposal, you know? It forces a lot of awkward responses for the opponent. So on turn 12, you just have Chivalry here. Why not? Now hunting, which seems weird, but yes, Mitsuku is not going to train any Knights this turn. He's going to fight for these villages and get another giant. Get some more immediate board presence. There's not really any available chains anyway. And if Anva has vision, there's not any surprise plays either. Especially since there's going to be an explorer off of this city. But yeah, also, speaking of which, Anva has that 6th city now with the Grand Bazaar. Again, making a bunch of units. Organization run, which is pretty nice here. If you get construction, you can get some more giants off that. You can get some good pressure here. And that is a siege. This looks to almost be able to hold, but not quite. Because this warrior's not going to actually push the correct way. Now, I believe there was a way, because the rider is here. You could go like 1, 2, 3, 4, hit the warrior and bounce it here. I guess then the rider... I don't know. Is there a way to have that hold? Maybe. I don't want to get too sidetracked here, though. So, who knows? It's rather expensive. You can't just train the riders, so maybe there are some downsides. And we see the Gate of Power now coming down. Both sides have their Gate of Power in the south. See the Explorer now, getting that beautiful vision. Also, again, worth noting, Mitsuku's not trained a Knight yet. He has Chivalry, but he just is trying to get more riders. A good foundation first before he actually gets those Knights going, which is very good here. Many people have a tendency... Knights then support. Knights need support. And now, pressuring in the south with the giant. Now the Knight is coming down because look at the support that you have. You have these giants that are nice and well advanced. And these riders are very chainable. And especially since Anva wants to try and hold on to these villages, the best way to hold on to them is block the riders by putting riders in front. But if you do that, you're opening yourself to a chain now. Which means... Anva's not going to be able to keep these, so it's really a matter of prevention. Prevent Mitsuku from getting them, but it's looking really difficult. There's the giant there. See hunting, just trying to hold on here. Anva's kind of scrambling on defense a little bit. This is very, very unpleasant. Now the giant sieging, you have to get the giant push there. There's a lighthouse. And also playing around the chain at the same time. This is super, super difficult position. Now get the lighthouse there. You can get another giant there. Using the Knight, not for a chain, there's no chain available. Instead, just using for some nice damage. Gonna be able to take the giant out completely, go for the siege, just cripple that economy even more. The double siege is really annoying here. Another Knight, another giant. And he actually does not step on the village here, which I believe is a mistake, because Anva does not have the units to kill this. Maybe Mitsuku doesn't have proper vision here. That might be the reason why you would kill this warrior. Especially, yeah, I think this was just a mistake. But regardless, Mitsuku is in a very, very commanding position. And so now, organization, only 5 stars left after doing that push. You're going to have a little more after you get the Grand Bazaar there. Now 10 stars. You're You're able to unsiege, kill that first knight. There's still another knight on the board, so you have the player on the chains. And this is just really rough. Both sides are on 6 cities, and a similar density too, but these villages in the north, Mitsuku just has complete control over what's going on. And he uses the rider to go in the village, not the giant. He's gonna advance with this giant and have it block. So now when you capture the village, instead of wasting a turn with your giant, now you're just gonna be able to immediately attack. This giant's attacking as well. You've got the knights, you've got another giant. This is just complete domination here by Mitsuku. And he's gonna be able to take game 1. Anva, again, feels just like you're scrambling on defense. You don't even have a way of defending the south. You get the giant here. You're just really light on stars, really light on units. Everything is not going well. You would really like to have like construction here to just spam giants like crazy, but you just cannot afford to do that. The south is gonna fall. Mitsuku is getting the 7th city, soon getting an 8th, 9th, and just having an overwhelming advantage here. And that is where things end. But this is a best of 3, so there are some more matches, and I'll go ahead and cut to the next one. Alrighty, so Mitsuku with 1 point, Anva with 0. Mitsuku just needs to win 1 more, so this time Mitsuku not hosting. He is in the west. Actually, he wasn't hosting last time either. I think they just... I don't know how they decided hosting. Anva is in the east. You can see here. And yeah, let's get right into things. This time on a normal lakes. And we see very interesting start. Good density, as expected, on lakes because you have the suburbs. But we see going for the ruin first, getting the meditation. And philosophy, that is right. XIN-XI PHILO rush. Not clickbait, this is real. This is in a competitive set with pro players. This is like the best thing ever. It's like they knew there's gonna be content about this. And yeah, both sides just developing. Mitsuku has a bit of a head start in development because of the consistent mine rate, but Anva has that long-term edge with philosophy, and on turn 8 the monument's gonna go down. Now, Vet Sword Ruin, very unfortunate, because you can kind of see already how this lake is looking. The middle is a lake. Naval is going to be the name of the game. Now we see the altar piece drop. We see Smithery now. And you can see this is version 114. The first game is also version 114. But yeah. We see the forages. And now Anva's economy is catching up. Expansion also, Anva's doing really well. Super good density here. Pretty much everything is going well. Mitsuku is on the water first, though. So we'll see how things pan out. Now, hunting. Just further developing. Mechs are really cheap. So it's just about getting that eco up. Now we see first giant. Anva getting it. And just really, really strong economy. Now a sailing rune. This is perfect. Now you can get navigation if you want to here. Is that what he's going to go for? He's going to go for Smithery instead, which makes sense. You want to get those forges going. You can get a giant off Smithery next turn. Now you see Anva going for fishing. And yeah, this is just a really nice position. You have more cities, you have PHILO. Now you have really good vision because you took that city later. You do have fewer ruins, only the 1 ruin which got Humanitation, whereas Mitsuku's gotten quite a few ruins on his side of the map. But now, even more development, more giants. And now, a little poke there. More development. Capture in the south. Now, if we look at kind of the city situation, Mitsuku is looking to be ahead in cities. In fact, he's going to be able to take this one. Gets the lighthouse up north. Anva's going to take this, so if we kind of look in the long term, Mitsuku's going to have this section of the map, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, versus Anva with only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cities. But what does Anva have that Mitsuku doesn't? That's right, philosophy. And I think you guys know what that means. Like, City advantage is nice and all, but philosophy. And in this game especially, philosophy matters. Now both sides getting really solid vision. Anva hitting the warrior. Now another giant putting that warrior into the water. As well, Mitsuku got in the water first. He does not have a giant to quickly put in the water, just a single scout. And it's going to prove quite troublesome. How do you deal with 3 juggernauts? Can you deal with 3 juggernauts? Do you have enough time here? See, just some more developing, trying to get that economy going, trying to get giants. You can get something like forestry here, you can get a ton of giants, or roads, or whatever. But you need giants to fight back. You ever see a giant in the north just securing everything, no possible siege, and there's potential for pressure, if need be. But, yeah, now we see sailing, the juggernauts enter, all using these available ports. Mitsuku getting more giants, trying to hold on, because that's the best he can do here. He's kind of lost his foothold here, and he needs to fight back. If Anva can get naval dominance, the bombers are just going to be too devastating here, and it will be decisive. But he's again kind of focusing on economy because he needs the giants. That's how he fights back, so development is super important. Now we see riding roads, the aim of just getting Grand Bazaar. And the thing is, riding the roads is super cheap because philosophy. And now this naval dominance is continuing. Anva already has a very good economy, so no need for Anva to continue developing, while Mitsuku still struggling. His economy is doing great right now, but it's just too slow. Now the pop rune from that rune in the south, getting another giant. Navigation, getting the starfish, and just devastating stuff. Bombers are coming in. You can hit this juggernaut if you want, but the bombers are staying. And this is just too much. This initial attack is going to prove to be a decisive one with the siege. This bomber is just amazing here. Giant's not going to siege, just instead continuing to keep the pressure up. And in the long term, things are only going to get better. So after the population ruin, Mitsuku resigns here. Now the set is tied 1-1. So the final match, let's get right into it. All right, so last one, IMO on Archie, which you guys have probably never seen before. I haven't seen it in this version either. And yeah, so now Mitsuku is hosting. Anva is not, so Mitsuku is in the southwest. Anva is in the north. And we see 2 very different openings. We see the turn 0 warrior versus turn 1 meditation. You'd think turn 1 meditation here. No. I'm surprised also no turn 0 meditation, but I don't know. I haven't labbed out the openings enough. Turn 1 meditation seems pretty nice. But no meditation at all. So we're going to see how these play out. So now fishing pre-cap. This is the idea behind avoiding meditation. He really wants to get fishing, get those ports, get all that going. Archie, you really want ports. So you tend to not want to go too tech heavy. See the Mindbender me here, and this is quite the problem for our Anva already. And can you see it? See right here? Mitsuku's turn. Upgrades the city, no big deal. But Mitsuku has something very important here. You'll see in a little bit. Anva, of course, moving away. Very sensible. Connecting with the ports to develop. And he moves his Mindbender away, unsure of what's happening, but now you can see that altar piece dropping down turn 6. And there's a giant. Turn 7. Thanks to the altar of peace. If not for that, there was no giant here in the first place. And now also that means you have Park of Fortune. And what's really interesting here is it looks like Mitsuku is actually kind of boxed in. You can kind of see Anva's in the center, taking everything, and normally that's a death sentence. But with philosophy and a strong economy combined with the early giants, things could not be worse for Anva. You can see really soon just a port in the fruit for the next giant. Now we see just trying to expand, but also keep Mitsuku contained to these just 4 cities. Because you can expand, take the rest of the map, maybe you get like 8, 9, or even 10 cities. But no, Mitsuku says you can't even have this. I'm sending my giant here. Get a giant up here. Now, Star Ruin. And yeah, this is just... You have to hold on to here. If you hold on, you win, but you are not holding on. 2 giants are just too much here. Even with the population run, where's your giant? Hunting. Can get some ports. And yeah, port connection. So that's going to be really close. Just 1 more port connection, plus the animal. And that is a giant. Population ruin seems like it's going to do it, but not quite. You're just too slow. You cannot get the giant here. And everything is just falling apart. Once Mitsuku breaks through, it is over. Giant comes down. But the turn 7 giant plus the extra giant there just gave Mitsuku so much initiative. And now sieging with the warrior and preventing the unsiege. Now even if you get the giant push off, it won't matter because this will fall. Just assuring victory here. Really, really well played. And that means Mitsuku advances to the finals, which you guys will see a future video about. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Like and sub, and have a good one.